What's good, Toxic Regime? ToxicSight here, back again once again with the final part of the damage champions of Paladins, abilities and loadouts. We're in part number 11, which is, like I said, the final part of damage. We have talked about Bomb King, we have talked about Cassie, we've talked about Kinessa, we've talked about Leon, Shaolin, Strix, Tyra, Victor, Vivian, and Willow. And now my boy, the one that we skipped, Drogoz.
Spend credits.
He's really good, really, almost a god almost. His talents are combustible, fire spit, now knocks back and deals damage, additional 30% of its damage to targets hit over 2 seconds. Reign of Terror, Salverno activates him instantly. Always fires 6 shots and deals 10% more damage. Worm Jets increase your flight speed of booster by 40%. And Fusillade direct shots deal 35% more damage. Combustible is not that great. I mean, it used to be number 1 top tier of Drogoz, but it's not that great anymore with this projectile speed increase. Because you have to let that fire spit fly for a little while before you shoot, because of how fast your rockets go now. Reign of Terror isn't great at all because it's only based around salvo, and while salvo is good, it's best timed other than just instantly activating it. Fusillade deals direct damage, is a godsend to Drogoz with his increased projectile speed, and Worm Jet's increased flight speed of booster by 40% is great. So Fusillade and Worm Jets are, in my opinion, his best two. Fusillade being the best, Worm Jets following up, and then Combustible, and then Reign of Terror. So we're going to start with Fusillade. I do have a loadout for Combust and a loadout for CC. Now I get a lot of hate whenever I go into a game and use this Fusillade build. Heals for 100 health for each enemy champion hit with fire spit. Heal for 100 each time salvo hits the target. Salvo cooldown is reduced by 1 second for every shot hit. Hot swap, weapon hits increase your reload speed by 20% for 3 seconds. And enemies hit by fire spit, the fire spit explosive receive 45% less healing for 3 seconds. He's got boosters as his jump, so that's one mobility that he has over like everybody else. His rockets, he's only got 6 rockets in his clip, which is plenty. Because with Fusillade and direct hits, most people are like Ying's a 2-hit, Sky's a 2-hit. 1, 2, 3. Nando's a 4, maybe a 5-hit because one of those didn't do max damage. His abilities, rocket launcher, the one that I just showed you, says it only does 850, but since we're using Fusillade, it does 1148, due to the 35% increased damage. Fire spit out a loogie. Enemies hit by your flammable saliva take 150 damage and receive 30 additional damage from your attacks for 40 seconds. Bonus damage, shoot your fire spit to cause an explosion that deals 1,000. So,
No. Organic life forms removed.
Savages, fragging dudes and winning. Scrub 3, scrub 4.
so you can either shoot the spit right into somebody. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. You can shoot the spit right into somebody, it'll do 150, but then your next attacks do 300 more damage. Or you can shoot the spit and then, or shoot your spit at the near above the targets and then blow it up to do damage to everybody in the surrounding. You don't get that bonus damage anymore, but you really, that 300 extra damage doesn't really make or break Drogoz. His next skill, Salvo. Load all remaining rockets into your launcher. Your next fire releases all the preloaded rockets, creating larger explosions and dealing 250 damage per shot. Deals 200% more damage to shields. So basically, so Salvo basically, you can damage a whole huge lot of people. What some people do, let spit recharge. What some people do, oh damn it, they'll shoot the spit, they'll detonate it, doing 1,000 damage, but then their salvo rockets come behind it, and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it cleans it up. Like, that was a poor example. Okay, let's try this again. I didn't load it up first. Okay, salvo, spit. See, salvo gets there too fast. I need to work on the timing, but that's what a lot of people do, is they'll shoot, they'll load up a salvo, they'll spit, and then they'll salvo down into the spit, or into the spit from the back, and it detonates, doing 1,000 damage to people, and then the rest of the salvo breaks through and and then his ult, or thrust, his F, jet upwards into the air, hold space to use your booster. And like I said, his booster, you can actually fly around with it instead of it just being straight upwards. Drogoz does get banned a lot now, and especially after his projectile speed increase. And then his ultimate Dragon Punch, unleash your fury and overclock your thrusters to deliver a high velocity punch that deals 100% of your target's maximum HP as damage. With his ult, don't do it like I just did it. Don't do it standing out in front of people. What you want to do with it, what you want to do with it is you want to do it from somewhere like up above everybody or hidden. Like what I'll sometimes do is I'll sometimes get up high, do it in the air behind a wall or something, and thrust in, and then try and get out of there before the rest of the team picks me off. But sometimes I'll do it to enemies that are all by themselves, so I don't have to worry about the enemy picking me off. Or something else you could do is spit in, detonate it, get behind the wall, reload, salvo up. I don't have an ult right now. Hold on. I'll do all this after I ult. Let me get my ult.
Eradication complete.
Adopted.
Okay, what you'll do is spit in, detonate it, get behind the wall, load up a salvo, jump up, ult in, fly up, and launch your salvo into everybody. I don't always spit and detonate it and then get behind the wall, reload and salvo. What I tend to do a lot is I'll reload whenever I get behind the wall, whenever I have my ult ready to use my ult, and I'll ult into or I'll load up a salvo and then ult, and I'll ult into whoever and then salvo the whole group behind them. One thing that Drogoz's ult is great for is canceling Torvald's ult. Whenever you're being blasted away with Torvald ult, it stops you from flying. Khan's ult, if he does launch you and you have it, instantly hit it before you hit the out of the map wall. And then ult back in. I wouldn't necessarily ult back into Khan because he could just shout, but ult back into the map, either at Khan if you think you can get him before he notices, or just ult back into the map somewhere else. Makoa, if Makoa ults and he does not have Leviathan, ult into him, and it'll end his ult instantly. Yes, it'll end you'll use yours, but you'll get a kill, and you'll stop him from going on a rampage, killing people. Who else do I ult into? Let me actually pull up the character list. Furia, you can't target during her ult. Andro, you could fly up to hit him because most Andros do their ults in the air. Ashe, if you're fast enough and you notice she's about to ult, you can ult her out of the sky. Once she hits the ground, you can't ult her. Barrack, it's pointless. Bomb King wins that fight. Cassie, no point. Buck, no point. Drogoz v Drogoz, you both do damage to each other. Eevee, it'll ignore the slow, but most of the time an Eevee will just ice block after she ults. Nando, it won't kill. Grok, it'll kill. Grover, I don't know. Grover might out heal it. I'll need to test Grover. Inara, unless she's running Mother's Grace. If she's running Mother's Grace, don't even think about ulting into her. Genos, you can ult into. Just don't. Hopefully he won't ult you while you're flying through the air. Khan, like I said, ult him. Kanessa, you can. I wouldn't waste it on Anessa. Lex, you can. I wouldn't waste it. Leon, you can not during her ult. Maeve, if you can find her. Makoa, like I said, unless she's running Leviathan. Damba, I wouldn't waste it on his ult. Moji, you can't ult out of her. Like, you can't ult. You can ult and she can't turn you into a snack while you're ulting. Pip can't ult you. Ruckus will destroy you, so I would use it and come from above whenever Ruckus is doing it, doing his ult. I haven't tried it with a Ceres Drogoz combo, but I don't think it'll kill multiple people. I think it'll just kill the one you hit. Shaw, you can't hit during his ult. It's funny, if you ult as Talos selects you as his target for his ult, your ult wins. I've done it twice. Right after Terminus ults, and he comes back to life and everything, ult him so he's still dead. So your team still has a 1-man up advantage. Torvald, after he ults, do it from the side, because his ult can't push you back. Tyra, her ult will kill you by the time you get to her. Victor, you can ult him because he targets the area you're at, not you. Well, he targets you to select where to do it, but it hits the ground where you were, not where you are. Vivian will die. Willow will die if you go up into the air and hit her. Zen, I have not tried a Zen ult into a Drogoz ult. That's something on my to-do list. Ying will get obliterated if you can find her right thing. Ying is annoying as hell to a Drogoz, because all she does is drop an illusion or teleport to an illusion and you miss. The hard counters and annoying people, in my opinion, for Drogoz: Leon, Lex for auto aim. Maeve, I can kill her most of the time, but a lot of the time, if it's a really good Maeve, I can't. Andro's a really good counter to Drogoz. And then anybody that shoots fast. Cassie's a hard counter because she flicks really easily and her shots aren't arcing. But anyways, both of the snipers are hard counters to him because they are hidden pretty much and do tons of damage. But Ruckus is sort of a hard counter because he's got hit scan. Shaolin, if you're out in the open a lot as Drogoz, is a problem. Sky, poison, and then continuously shooting. But if you can find her before she starts wailing on you, she'll die. Talus, if you can find him, he'll die. These three, Vivian and Tyra, if they find you first, you're dead. But if you find them first and you get one shot on them before they notice where you are and start shooting at you, you'll kill them because they have no mobility to get away. Victor, same thing, except he's got mobility to get away. If you find him first, he'll more than likely die because he doesn't shoot while he's using his mobility. And that's about it for the true hard counters for Drogoz. Now we're going to move on to Wormjets. Booster consumes 30% less fuel 5 seconds after using thrust. Thrust cooldown is reduced by 30% whenever you get a killing blow. Reduce the cooldown and thrust by 5 seconds for hitting an enemy champion with Fire Spit. Increase boosters fuel capacity by 30%. And restore 40% of your maximum booster fuel when you get a kill or an elimination. Now y'all saw like you doing like 400, almost 400 less damage a hit.
Elimination protocol active.
But you're flying around so much faster. Like, let me go back to Fusillade. This is your flight speed with Fusillade. Worm Jets. This is your flight speed with Worm Jets.
Organic life forms removed. Status mobile.
And again, the only thing that's different is your damage and your flight speed between these two. I personally like Fusillade better because it's easier to get kills. And then I'll just kill you with a direct shot. It's easier to get kills and I like doing damage. Flying around doing damage isn't all that bad, but almost 400 damage less is a big deal. Drogoz can go any of the three. It doesn't really matter. A lot of people say Caught, but Wrecker, he's dominant with Wrecker because the salvo already has Wrecker in it. But he's dominant with any of these three. It's quite funny. I'm just going to do this for fun, but never do this in a game. Watch this reload speed.
Elimination protocol active.
I just did this for fun one day and was blown away by its reload speed. Okay, so that's the red card. Don't do that in a game. He's definitely killed a heal. Now, while you might think morale boost is his go-to, morale boost is good on him, but nimble is excellent. Here, it's game
Sufficient
specific.
upgrade.
Now, I want to do this to prove people wrong. I'm actually going to go change champion. Give me Strix. Change champion back to Drogoz. Fusillade. Okay. Wait, why am I already moving fast? Okay. This is normal speed. So many people, and I'm doing this on recording on everything, so people, if I need to prove people wrong, I can just say, hey, go check out this video. Nimble. Movement speed increased, of course, because that's what Nimble says. People say it doesn't increase flight speed. It looks like I'm increasing flight speed, just saying. And just to check again, I'm gonna switch champions. And then switch champions back. I'm gonna fly from here to there and see how long it takes. No.
Power increased.
A dub, dude.
But yes, nimble increases movement speed both ways. And then that's game specific. So the two that are required are these two, and then any of these three. I just showed you deft hands for the fun of it. But that's gonna do it for Drogoz. It is a longer video because I like him and I know him better than most other damage champions. You could play him as a straight damage, which means you're looking at the point, focusing on the point. You can play him as a flank killer, which means you stay behind the healer. So it'll be front lines, the healer, and then Drogoz. And any flanks that come around to get your healer, you're right there to kill them. Which that takes you to be really, really good with Drogoz. Or you can be a damage flank, which means you focus on point to trick them, and then you go around behind them. Because with his mobility of his thrust and his jetpack, he can get around many places that other champions cannot. Like Stonekeep, that big tree off to the side, he can fly over that like nobody, only Andro and Maeve can. Eevee can too, but Eevee's not the smartest at doing it. Where else? Jaguar Falls, going onto the far side of the temple where the map ends. You can fly around there. Only Andro, Drogoz, and Maeve can. Or Eevee, Drogoz, and Andro. I don't think Maeve can make that jump. She should, actually, now that I think about it, with Pounce. Jump at the height, jump again, and then Pounce out. Maybe. So that's Stonekeep, Jaguar Falls. Timbermill, a lot of people say he's not good at Timbermill. Just, you can play him as a sniper. Just hide behind the wall, jump up, shoot. Jump up, shoot. Jump up, shoot. Or stick your head out and shoot. Stuff like that. But yeah, there's multiple ways to play him. He is a really fun and really godly damage champion. If he is not banned, and you're not picking, ask whoever's picking if you get good with him. You have to be good with him, because if you don't, you will get reported for throwing. Ask whoever's picking on your team if they can pick you Drogoz and trade. Because if he gets through ban and your selector does not pick him, it's either gonna be Drogoz that gets picked first, or Cassie, or Reinara. One of those three will be the first pick of any team, if they're smart. If all three of them make it through. But, or Lex maybe, or Zen if he makes it through. There's multiple people, but if Drogoz makes it through ban, he won't make it far with how strong he is now. But that's gonna do it for this video. That 10 is not right. That 10 is way off. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the damage champions. Until next time, be good to yourself, be good to your loved ones, and I will see you later. Bye.